Before we dive in, viewer discretion is advised. This content is for entertainment purposes.
What happens when a Hollywood sweetheart known for her grace and composure walks into a storm she never saw coming? When Lily Collins, yes, the same Lily who stole hearts in Emily in Paris, found herself clashing with Anna Navarro live on The View, no one in that studio could have predicted the emotional chaos that would unfold. What started as a cheerful morning chat turned into one of the most uncomfortable, unfiltered moments daytime television has ever seen. And let's talk about what really happened that day. It was supposed to be a light-hearted episode, a mix of laughter, celebrity charm, and talk show banter. The audience buzzed with excitement as Lily Collins walked out onto the View stage, radiant as ever in a sleek cream blazer, her hair pulled back in a simple knot. She smiled, waving to the audience with that signature calm poise that made her instantly likable. The hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Anna Navarro, rose to greet her. But something about the air felt different. The applause lingered longer than usual, like the audience sensed they were about to witness something unforgettable. Lily took her seat beside Joy, crossing one leg over the other, flashing that bright but reserved smile. "Thank you for having me," she said warmly, her British accent soft yet confident. Whoopi leaned forward with her usual ease. "Lily, we're so glad you're here. We've been watching Emily in Paris blow up again. Season 4 is coming, right?" Lily nodded. "Yes. It's been such an amazing experience. I'm so grateful that people still love the show. We just wrapped filming, actually." The audience cheered. For a brief moment, it was everything a celebrity interview should be. Fun, positive, glowing. But Anna Navarro, sitting 2 seats down, wasn't smiling. She was flipping through her note cards, glancing between Lily and the camera like she was preparing for something more pointed. Anna finally looked up, her tone steady but sharp. "Lily, you've mentioned before that Emily in Paris tries to show women as ambitious and independent. But some critics say it glamorizes privilege, kind of ignoring what working women in real cities actually face. What do you think about that?" The room went still. Lily shifted slightly, caught off guard. "That's a fair question," she said carefully. "But I think what we're trying to do is celebrate ambition in all its forms. The show is meant to be aspirational, not a reflection of every woman's struggle." Anna nodded slowly, but her eyes didn't soften. "Sure, but aspiration without acknowledgement can feel tone-deaf, don't you think? Especially when so many young women are watching and trying to live up to a fantasy that doesn't exist." Lily's lips parted. There was a flicker, just a flicker, of discomfort in her eyes. "Well," she began, "I think art doesn't have to mirror hardship to have value. I think escapism can be empowering." The audience clapped, but it was uncertain applause, half support, half tension. Joy Behar chuckled awkwardly. "Well, I think a little fantasy never hurt anyone. God knows I could use a Parisian escape." The laughter broke some of the tension, but Anna didn't back down. She leaned forward, her voice firmer now. "But isn't that part of the problem, though? People escape instead of dealing with reality. Don't you think Hollywood has a responsibility to be more grounded?" Lily blinked, visibly trying to keep her composure. "Anna, I think there's a difference between responsibility and storytelling freedom. We're not pretending to be a documentary." "Right," Anna shot back, "but when you're a public figure and a role model for young women, you don't get to just say it's fantasy. Your work means something, whether you like it or not." The crowd murmured. Whoopi glanced toward the producers, sensing the heat building. Lily inhaled sharply. Her smile faded into something colder, more defensive. "I'm not dismissing responsibility," she said, her tone quiet but edged. "But I think it's unfair to assume I'm obligated to represent every woman's experience. I'm one actress. I tell stories. That's what I do." The silence that followed was sharp. Even Sunny Hostin, who often jumped in to mediate, stayed quiet. Anna folded her arms. "It's just interesting that you say you're telling stories, but you avoid telling the difficult ones. The ones that might actually help people instead of just selling them dreams." That hit hard. The camera cut to Lily's face, her jaw tightening. There was something in her eyes, hurt, confusion, anger, but she held it in. "Maybe," Lily replied, her voice trembling slightly. "People deserve to dream without feeling guilty for it. Maybe they deserve to escape without being lectured about what's real." The audience broke into scattered applause, but the energy had changed. It wasn't admiration anymore, it was tension. Whoopi raised her hand slightly. All right, she said with a half smile, trying to lighten the air. "Let's keep it cool, ladies. We're not starting World War III on The View. The laughter was nervous. But Anna wasn't finished. No one's starting a war, Whoopi, she said firmly. I'm just saying we can't keep pretending entertainment doesn't have impact. These narratives, whether you admit it or not, shape how women see themselves. Lily leaned forward now, her voice lower, sharper. And maybe women can decide for themselves what to take from a show without being told how they should feel about it. A few people in the crowd gasped. It was subtle, but the energy flipped. The poised, elegant Lily Collins had just fired back. Anna's expression froze. Then she smirked slightly. I see. So criticism is just something you'd rather not hear. Lily exhaled, shaking her head. No. I'm saying I've heard it all before. Every interview, every panel, someone reminds me that what I do isn't real enough. But maybe that says more about how we value women's stories. If it's light-hearted, it's dismissed. If it's emotional, it's mocked. If it's serious, it's too much. So tell me, Anna, what exactly are women allowed to be? The audience erupted into applause. Even Whoopi raised her brows. Phew, that's a word right there. Anna didn't immediately respond. For the first time, she looked slightly thrown. But her silence didn't last long. I hear you, she said finally. But I also think being challenged comes with the territory. You're in a position of privilege. You can handle it. Lily's lips pressed together. The studio lights caught the faintest tremble in her chin. You're right, she said softly. I can handle it. But I think there's a difference between being challenged and being cornered. And then, something in her snapped. She glanced toward Whoopi, then toward the audience, then back to Anna. Her composure cracked just slightly, enough for the audience to see the vulnerability behind the calm. I came here to talk about creativity, she said, her voice shaking now. Not to defend my worth as a woman or as an artist. Anna opened her mouth to reply, but Lily stood up. The motion was slow, deliberate. She adjusted her blazer, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Thank you for having me, she said, the words brittle. Whoopi's eyes widened. Lily, hold on, we're not. But it was too late. The cameras captured the moment as Lily Collins, the picture of poise just minutes earlier, walked off the set of The View while the audience sat frozen in disbelief. The room was silent except for the faint buzz of the cameras still rolling. Anna looked down at the table, her expression unreadable. Joy Behar muttered under her breath, well, that just happened. And as Whoopi cut to commercial, the audience erupted, not with applause, but with gasps, murmurs, and confusion. Outside the studio, producers were already huddled in the hallway, whispering into headsets, trying to figure out what to do next. Lily's heels clicked against the tile floor as she disappeared backstage, her eyes glistening, her jaw tight. She didn't say another word. And by the time the cameras came back from commercial, The View's atmosphere was unrecognizable, nervous, fractured, and heavy with the echo of what had just gone wrong. Little did anyone know, this moment was only the beginning. The fallout, both inside and outside the studio, was about to take on a life of its own. The cameras cut to black, but the energy inside the studio didn't die. It vibrated through the walls like static. Audience members whispered among themselves, stunned, still processing what they had just seen. Lily Collins, had walked off The View in front of a live audience. Backstage, chaos erupted in quiet tones. Producers scrambled down the corridor, whispering into headsets, trying to figure out if she was coming back. A stage manager clutched his clipboard so tightly the papers bent. She's headed toward the dressing rooms, someone said into a mic. Lily's heels struck the tile with quick, furious taps. The hallway was a blur, makeup artists, camera assistants, interns frozen mid-step as she passed. She wasn't shouting, she wasn't crying, but the silence around her was louder than any outburst could have been. Her breath trembled, her pulse was a thunder in her ears. Inside her dressing room, Lily shut the door and leaned back against it, pressing her palms to the cool wood. For a few seconds, she said nothing. Her reflection in the mirror stared back at her. The perfect hair, the soft blush, the practiced smile now long gone. She whispered under her breath, "What just happened?" Her assistant, Emily, stepped in cautiously. "Lily, are you okay?" Lily shook her head, not in anger but disbelief. "She blindsided me, Em. I came here to talk about the show, about creativity, not to defend myself as a woman, as if I've done something wrong by giving people something joyful." Emily set a glass of water on the counter. "You handled it gracefully, you did. But Lily didn't answer. Her mind was replaying every second, Anna's tone, the shift in the audience, the silence that followed. The words "you can handle it" replayed like a needle caught on vinyl. Meanwhile, on stage, Whoopi Goldberg had returned from commercial break. Her face was calm, her voice controlled. "Well, folks, we just had a little moment here," she said, half smiling to the audience. "Live television, anything can happen." The audience laughed nervously, unsure whether to move on. Joy Behar leaned in toward Anna Navarro. "You really got under her skin," she said, not accusingly, but with a note of disbelief. Anna sighed. "I didn't mean to. I was asking a real question. It's the View. We talk about things that matter." Sunny Hostin added quietly. "There's asking questions, Anna, and then there's pressing until someone breaks. You might have crossed that line." Anna turned toward her, eyebrows raised. "So we're not supposed to challenge guests now?" Whoopi lifted her hands. Okay, everyone breathe. We don't need round 2. We'll reach out to Lily later. Let's just finish the show." The tension still hung thick, though the cameras rolled on. But inside that studio, everyone could feel it. Something deeper had cracked. It wasn't just a celebrity moment gone wrong. It was a collision of values, of expectations, of how women in power speak to one another on television. Back in the dressing room, Lily sat at the vanity, her eyes fixed on her reflection. "It's always the same," she muttered. "If you smile too much, you're shallow. If you speak too softly, you're weak. If you stand up for yourself, you're defensive." Her assistant hesitated. "Do you want me to call your publicist?" Lily looked up slowly. "No, not yet. I want to think." For a moment, there was silence. Then Lily's phone buzzed on the counter, notifications lighting up one after another. The clip had already gone viral. Someone from the audience had recorded it on their phone, and within minutes, Twitter was on fire. Lily Collins storms off The View after heated debate with Anna Navarro. Lily Collins stands her ground. Did Anna go too far? The hashtags #LilyOnTheView and #Anna Navarro were already trending. Lily scrolled through a few of the clips, watching herself on repeat, the crack in her voice, the look in her eyes right before she walked off. It felt like she was watching a stranger. Her phone rang. Her manager, David. "Lily," he said quickly. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she said softly. "Well, you're trending everywhere. CNN, TMZ, Twitter. It's already out. People are taking sides. Do you want to release a statement?" Lily stared at the floor. "No, not yet. I don't want to fuel it." "Lily, if you don't say something, everyone else will. And you know how this works. Silence looks like guilt." She rubbed her temples. "Then maybe silence is what people need for once. Maybe not everything has to be a statement." David sighed. "I get it. Just be ready. Because Anna's people might talk first." When the call ended, Lily set the phone down and took a deep breath. The irony wasn't lost on her. She'd come on the show to promote a series about confidence and authenticity, and now, here she was, feeling stripped of both. Meanwhile, down the hall, Anna Navarro sat in her dressing room, the tension from the on-air clash still clinging to her. Her phone was buzzing too, texts from producers, friends, journalists. She sighed and looked into her mirror. "Did I push too far?" she murmured. Her assistant, a young intern named Leo, hesitated. It was a tough question, but maybe it came off a little harsh. Anna leaned back. "I wasn't trying to attack her. I was trying to challenge her. That's what we do on this show. But everyone's so sensitive now. You can't ask anything real without being painted as the villain." Leo didn't respond. Outside, she could hear the muffled chaos of the crew cleaning up, the producers whispering into phones, already spinning damage control. By that evening, the incident had taken on a life of its own. Entertainment outlets picked it up. Headlines splashed across social media. Lily Collins clashes with Anna Navarro in on-air confrontation. Hollywood's darling meets The View's firebrand. Clips of the moment were replayed endlessly on TikTok, dissected frame by frame. Fans posted comments like, "She was right to walk out. Anna Navarro owes her an apology. Lily Collins can't take criticism." Every post poured gasoline on a fire that was spreading faster than anyone expected. In her hotel suite later that night, Lily sat by the window overlooking the city. The skyline shimmered, but her thoughts were elsewhere, back on that set, in that chair, facing Anna's unrelenting gaze. She replayed it again and again, each time hearing something new in her own voice. The tremor, the exhaustion, the honesty she hadn't meant to reveal. Her assistant entered quietly. "You've got statements coming from Anna's camp. She said she respects you but stands by her question." Lily nodded slowly. "Of course she does. People are asking for your side, Lily. They're saying you owe an explanation." She turned to the window, her reflection blending into the city lights. "I don't owe anyone an explanation for feeling human." Her voice broke slightly on the word human. Emily hesitated. "So, what do we do now?" Lily finally looked over. "We wait. Let them talk. Let the noise happen. The truth always finds its way through the noise." But as she said it, her chest ached with doubt. In another part of the city, Anna sat on her couch, scrolling through comments under a video of the confrontation. The split-screen image showed her, firm and unyielding, and Lily, elegant but defensive. Each had their army of supporters and critics. Anna put the phone down and sighed. "Maybe I shouldn't have said it like that," she whispered. Her husband looked over from across the room. "You were being yourself. That's why they have you on that show." Anna frowned. "Yeah, but maybe sometimes being myself means listening more than I talk." She stared at the dark TV screen, her reflection faint and tired. "I didn't want to break her. I just wanted to talk." Back in the hotel, Lily closed her eyes and exhaled. The day replayed like a fever dream. The applause, the smiles, the sting of confrontation, and that haunting silence as she walked off stage. In the quiet, her phone lit up again, a message from her father, musician Phil Collins. "Proud of you. You don't owe anyone your peace. Sleep well, love. Tomorrow will be louder." Lily smiled faintly through tired eyes. She put the phone down and whispered, "Tomorrow will be louder." And as the night deepened over New York, both women, one in a hotel suite, the other at home, sat awake, replaying a moment that had already outgrown them. What began as an interview had turned into a cultural storm, one about art, expectations, and the impossible balance women are forced to walk between strength and grace. Neither of them knew it yet, but the next morning would bring headlines, apologies, and a confrontation that would spill beyond the screen, into the public eye, into hearts, and into a debate far bigger than either woman ever intended. Morning came with a sharp chill in the air, but it wasn't the weather that made the city buzz, it was the story. By sunrise, every major outlet from Good Morning America to E! News had covered the confrontation. The headlines blared across screens. Lily Collins walks off the View after heated exchange with Anna Navarro. Was Anna too harsh, or was Lily too sensitive? Women, power, and perception. The debate no one expected. In a hotel suite high above Manhattan, Lily sat on the edge of her bed, phone in hand, staring at the screen with weary eyes. Her notifications were endless: friends, colleagues, reporters, fans. Some messages were kind, others cruel, and all of them exhausting. The night before had felt surreal. Now it was painfully real. Every word, every breath from that interview had been dissected online. Clips slowed down. Expressions analyzed. People were reading intentions between syllables. Her assistant Emily entered with 2 coffees and a copy of the New York Post. The headline stretched across the front. The View erupts, Lily versus Anna, a clash over culture. Emily handed it to her quietly. "They are calling it the most talked-about daytime moment of the year." Lily let out a dry laugh. "That's not the kind of legacy I was aiming for." "You still have people defending you," Emily said. "A lot of women online are saying you stood up for creative freedom, that Anna cornered you." Lily sipped her coffee, staring out the window. The city below moved like a film reel, fast, impersonal, unstoppable. "And the others?" she asked softly. Emily hesitated. "Some say you were dismissive, that you walked off instead of answering a hard question." Lily sighed, setting the cup down. "People always think walking away means weakness. They never consider it might mean enough." Meanwhile, across town, Anna Navarro sat in the ABC offices with her phone buzzing relentlessly. Her publicist was on speakerphone. "Anna, we're getting requests for statements from Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, and Entertainment Tonight. Everyone wants to know how you feel about the backlash." Anna pinched the bridge of her nose. "I feel complicated," she said. "I didn't want it to turn into this. But I'm not going to apologize for asking a question." Her publicist hesitated. "The network's worried. They are saying the clip's gone viral in 20 countries. People are picking sides, and some are saying the show encouraged bullying." Anna frowned. "Bullying? I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I asked a question. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Yes, but the tone. Anna cut her off. The tone was frustration. Because I'm tired of watching conversations about women become filtered through perfection. We talk about empowerment, but no one wants to be challenged about what that means. There was silence on the line. Then, the publicist spoke carefully. Anna, I think it's time you call Lily. Just you. No cameras. No press. Anna leaned back, eyes closed. She knew they were right, but the thought of picking up the phone filled her with a strange mix of pride and dread. Back in Lily's suite, the television flickered with clips from the previous day. A commentator's voice filled the room. The exchange between Anna Navarro and Lily Collins has reignited conversations about how women in media handle criticism. Was it accountability, or was it cruelty? Lily muted the TV. It's strange, she murmured. People are turning a 10-minute interview into a moral war. Emily frowned. It's because it's not really about the interview anymore. It's about what people see in it. Strength, vulnerability, ego, feminism. Everyone's projecting something. Lily looked out the window again, her reflection faint against the glass. Maybe that's the problem. Everyone's projecting, and no one's listening. Her phone buzzed again, a text from an unknown number. She opened it cautiously. Lily, it's Anna. I'd like to talk, privately. I owe you that. Lily's breath caught. She stared at the message, rereading it. The words weren't defensive. They were human. She typed back slowly. Okay, just talk. No cameras. No statements. An hour later, in a quiet lounge inside the ABC building, the two women sat across from each other. The air between them was thick, unspoken tension swirling like fog. Anna was the first to speak. You know, I didn't expect it to blow up like this. Lily folded her hands in her lap. Neither did I. Anna nodded, her expression weary. I watched the clip again this morning. I saw how I came across. It wasn't my intention to corner you. Sometimes I push too hard. It's the journalist in me. Lily gave a faint smile. And I react too deeply. It's the artist in me. For a few seconds, silence settled between them, not awkward, but honest. Anna leaned forward. You know, what I was trying to say on air, I wasn't questioning your talent. I was questioning how Hollywood sometimes sells illusions to women. I wanted your take. But I think my delivery missed the mark. Lily looked down, tracing the edge of her cup. I understand that. And I get the conversation you wanted to have. I just wish it hadn't felt like an attack. Because when you're sitting there, live, being told you're part of the problem, it feels less like dialogue and more like indictment. Anna exhaled deeply. Fair. Then she added, almost quietly, I respect you, Lily. Truly. You're thoughtful. But this world we live in, it feeds off conflict. I think the show got what it wanted. Just not in the way either of us expected. Lily's eyes lifted, soft but sharp. Maybe. But the audience deserved more than spectacle. They deserved empathy. Anna nodded slowly, her lips tightening. You're right. A producer peeked into the lounge briefly, then disappeared when he saw the gravity in the room. Anna broke the silence again. You're stronger than people think. It takes guts to walk away, especially when everyone's watching. Lily tilted her head. And it takes guts to admit you might have gone too far. The faintest smile crossed Anna's face. So, maybe we're both human after all. Lily smiled too. That's what I've been saying all along. They both laughed softly, the sound breaking the ice that had hung between them since the day before. Outside, the city moved on, but inside that small lounge, something rare happened. Accountability met understanding. Later that afternoon, a joint statement appeared on both of their social media accounts. Yesterday's discussion on The View became more heated than either of us intended. We both believe in women having the freedom to express themselves, through art, through dialogue, and yes, even through disagreement. We've spoken privately, and we're moving forward with mutual respect. The post went viral within minutes. Thousands of comments flooded in, some cynical, some supportive. But for once, the narrative shifted. The clip that had divided the internet was now being reframed as something bigger, a lesson in conflict, empathy, and the imperfect art of communication. In the evening, Lily walked alone through Central Park. The cold air bit her cheeks, but she felt lighter than she had in days. She watched people passing by, strangers with their own storms and small victories. A couple nearby laughed as they took a selfie under the orange leaves. A jogger ran past with headphones in, mouthing lyrics to a song only he could hear. Lily smiled. Everyone's trying to tell their own story, she whispered to herself. That's all we're ever doing. As she walked, her phone buzzed again. A new notification. Anna Navarro tagged you in a post. She opened it, a candid photo of the two of them backstage earlier that day, both smiling faintly, tired but sincere. The caption read, "Sometimes, the hardest conversations are the ones worth having." Lily stared at the screen for a long moment, then liked the post. Across the city, Anna refreshed her feed, saw Lily's name in the likes, and smiled to herself. For the first time since the chaos began, the storm felt like it was settling. But outside the glow of social media, the real shift was quieter, not about fame, or headlines, or public perception. It was about two women on opposite sides of a table learning that conflict didn't always have to end in destruction. Sometimes, it ended in understanding. Still, the world wasn't done talking. The media wasn't done twisting. And by morning, the story would take one more unexpected turn that neither woman saw coming. A fallout that reached far beyond the view, changing how audiences saw authenticity, emotion, and truth itself. By the next morning, what had begun as a talk show clash had transformed into something far larger, a cultural moment. The story wasn't just about Lily Collins or Anna Navarro anymore. It had become a mirror, reflecting everything people felt about fame, feminism, and the weight of being seen. News anchors replayed the confrontation in slow motion, as if decoding a national mystery. Commentators debated tone and intention like scholars dissecting ancient texts. Twitter threads multiplied by the minute. On YouTube, clips of the walk-off had been watched over 40 million times in less than 24 hours. But beyond the noise, something quieter was happening. In living rooms across America, women, mothers, daughters, students, creators, were watching that clip again, not to pick a side, but to feel something they hadn't seen in a while: honesty. In a culture obsessed with filters and perfection, two women had shown something raw, unscripted, and flawed. And that, in itself, was powerful. Inside The View's studio, the tension had settled, replaced by a kind of fragile peace. The producers gathered around a long table, exhausted but alert, reviewing ratings. "Numbers are through the roof," one said. "We haven't seen engagement like this since Meghan McCain." Another producer nodded. "The network wants a follow-up episode. They are suggesting a special about emotional conversations on air. Maybe have Lily back." Joy Behar, sipping her coffee in the corner, raised an eyebrow. Good luck convincing her after that firestorm. The producer sighed. Actually, she might agree. She's trending for all the right reasons now. And indeed, across town, Lily Collins sat with her manager, watching the public reaction shift in real time. Support had surged. The same internet that had mocked her 24 hours ago was now defending her with passion. Think pieces appeared overnight with titles like The Grace of Walking Away and Why Lily Collins's Exit Was a Masterclass in Boundaries. Lily scrolled through the articles, half in disbelief. "It's strange," she murmured. "Yesterday I was a diva. Today I'm an icon. Nothing changed except the narrative." Her manager smiled gently. "That's the modern world. The story decides the hero, not the truth." Lily nodded slowly. "Then maybe it's time I take control of the story." That afternoon, she sat down in her own space. No studio, no makeup chair, no producers whispering in her ear. Just a simple camera, a chair, and her voice. She pressed record. "Hi, everyone," she began softly. "I've seen everything that's been said, the interviews, the headlines, the speculation. And I wanted to speak from the heart. Because yesterday wasn't about drama. It was about emotion, mine, Anna's, and everyone watching." She paused, steadying herself. When you live your life in front of cameras, it's easy to forget that you're still human underneath all the opinions. What happened on The View was unscripted. It was messy, but it was real. And that's okay. Her voice cracked slightly. "I didn't walk off because I couldn't handle criticism. I walked off because I needed space to think, to breathe, to not let anger win." She looked straight into the lens. "If there's one thing I've learned, it's that strength doesn't always mean standing your ground. Sometimes, it means stepping away before you lose yourself." She smiled faintly. "I've spoken with Anna since then. We both learned something. And I hope all of you watching learned something too, that even in disagreement, there's room for grace." She pressed stop. The video went live at 6 p.m. Within an hour, it had over 3 million views. The top comment read, This is what accountability and class look like. Thank you, Lily. Another said. Anna and Lily showed what real conversations should be: imperfect, emotional, human. And far down in the thread, one simple comment stood out. Maybe we need less perfection and more humanity. Meanwhile, Anna watched Lily's video from her dressing room at the View. As the video ended, she sat silently, her eyes glistening. Sunny Hostin entered, holding her phone. Did you see this? Anna nodded. I did. She handled it beautifully. Sunny smiled softly. Are you going to respond? Anna thought for a long moment, then said, no. Some things are better left as they are. But later that evening, Anna posted a single tweet. Grace recognized as Grace returned. And with that, the storm began to fade. By the next morning, entertainment outlets shifted their coverage to the next scandal, the next outrage. But something about that episode of The View lingered. Clips were still circulating, not because of outrage, but because people were moved. It had become one of those rare TV moments where everything else fell away. The laughter, the noise, the politics, and what was left was something heartbreakingly real. A week later, Lily returned to The View. The announcement stunned everyone. The audience erupted into applause as she walked back onto the same stage she'd once stormed off from. Joy Behar leaned toward her, smiling warmly. Well, this is a plot twist. Lily laughed softly. I guess you could say that. Anna nodded, her expression open, humble. Welcome back, Lily. The cameras rolled, but this time, the energy was different, calmer, deeper, more deliberate. Lily spoke first. Last time I was here, I let my emotions take over. I don't regret feeling them, but I do regret walking away from the conversation. So I'm here to finish it, the right way. Anna smiled faintly. And I'm here to listen, the right way. The audience burst into gentle applause. For the next 10 minutes, the two women talked, not as opponents, but as equals. They spoke about art, expression, and empathy. About how it's possible to disagree without demeaning, to challenge without breaking. There were no fireworks this time. No viral outbursts. Just two voices finding common ground in a world that rarely allows it. When the segment ended, the crowd stood, clapping not because they'd witnessed drama, but because they'd witnessed healing. Later that evening, social media was flooded again, but this time with hope. What a beautiful moment on The View today. We need more conversations like this in media. Two women showed us that strength isn't in winning, it's in listening. And somewhere between the applause and the quiet, something changed, not just for Lily or Anna, but for the people who watched them. Because in a world that often rewards outrage, these two women had shown that peace could trend too. That evening, as Lily stepped out of the studio and into the cold New York night, she looked up at the glowing skyline. The same city that had judged, cheered, and dissected her within days. Emily, her assistant, walked beside her. You did good, she said softly. Lily smiled. We both did. They paused at the curb, waiting for the light to change. Across the street, a group of young women noticed her and waved. Lily, we love you, one of them shouted. She smiled and waved back. Thank you. The traffic light turned green. As she crossed the street, the sound of the city surrounded her. The honking, the chatter, the heartbeat of a place that never stopped moving. For the first time in days, Lily felt at peace. Because no matter how loud the world became, she had found her voice again, not in defending herself, but in owning her story. And somewhere, in living rooms across America, someone was still replaying that first confrontation. But now, they saw it differently. Not as a clash, but as a turning point. The camera fades on Lily's quiet smile as the narrator's voice rises softly. What happens when conflict gives birth to understanding? When two women refuse to let outrage define their humanity. Maybe that's when television becomes more than entertainment. It becomes truth. And as that truth settles, remember, these stories don't end here. Because every conversation has two sides, and every moment has meaning. So, what do you think? Was Lily right to walk away, or was Anna right to push harder? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. We read every one. And if you want to see more emotional, powerful, and unpredictable moments like this, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us again, right here on Talk Narrative. Because this is where the real stories live, where truth meets drama, and humanity takes center stage.